Folks, we're going to have a great one for you here today. I'm bringing to you two guys that have been in the music industry collaborating for well over 40 years. Well, they got together to do a very personal song that they are going to be giving to a nonprofit veteran organization called Warrior Songs. Warrior Songs collect songs from veterans and they put them on CDs and they bring them to other veterans so the other veterans can listen to the songs, you know, that were written by people that are, you know, part of their family that understands the way they think. So, and this is one of those songs, and we're going to go through that song. We're going to get to know the two people involved. At this time, I want to introduce them to you. One is named ParThon, and the other one is Newbie Man 39. All right, guys, come on in.
ParThon.
I'm so fucking sorry.
Well, okay.
I tried so hard too, man. I like ParThon. All right. Hey, anyway, it's actually Wallace Mitchell and like my brother-in-law and AKA ParThon, because you know when you're an entertainer, you always got to have that entertainment name, just like I'm Uncle G. And I also want to introduce to you Calvin John Wade, aka Newbie Man 39. How you guys doing today?
Great.
Outstanding, man. This has been a fun little journey on putting this together.
Yes, it has.
Yes, it has. So where do we start off at, man? How long have you guys been knowing each other?
Well, over 50 years.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
50 years of writing music and collaborating together?
Yes.
Why don't you both just give me a little bit of background on your music and how far back it goes?
You want to go ahead, since you're the youngest?
I had a childhood friend named Joel. We call him Twinkles. And one day he told me about a new friend he had and they were making these records. And his name was Calvin Wade. So I said, well, introduce me to him. This was around 1970.
That was right here in LA?
It was right here in LA.
Okay.
And so he introduced me to Calvin. And from that point on, we started making records.
And he would do the writing and you would do most of the playing?
Well, Calvin's thing was putting together the entire production. He was like the executive producer. So he would come up with the Buckarooskies, all the people that would be involved. And then if it took writing the songs, he was like Barry Gordy. He could write a song. But he could do all the other things too that entwine the situation.
So Newbie Man, you're more of a producer then?
Yeah, I think of myself in that vein, yes.
Well, being a black producer in the 70s couldn't have been easy.
No.
Automatically, that's the first thing that sticks out. You know, there was a handful of them and that was about it, you know?
Yeah, wasn't that easy. You're absolutely right.
No.
Oh, and he's from Detroit. So he had already seen firsthand Barry Gordy, you know, invent Motown. He saw that.
Okay. Yeah, and had to be proud of him. So you know a lot of the musicians in the Detroit area when you were out there?
Actually, I met a few personally, and you know, I had some relatives that were involved in the music business as well. So
okay,
it was just kind of in my blood, so to speak.
So it was pretty much natural that was the direction you were going to go in. And Wallace, I know your background was playing in bands right here in the LA area.
Yeah,
that's how you met my sister.
And that's how I met your sister. Yeah, I played all the clubs in LA.
Yeah,
Total Experience, the Apartment, Mavericks Flat, you know, everything. Speakeasy.
Yeah. So you guys want to show off just 1 second? Just name some of the people you may have worked with.
I knew and discussed working with people like Hank Cosby, who was part of the Funk Brothers, and he was kind of Stevie Wonder's mentor.
Mhm.
And then coming to LA, we worked with some jazz people, Yusef Rahman and David T. Walker and Freddie Washington. Wallace knows more musicians than I do.
Well, LA had its handful of musicians, especially jazz musicians.
Yeah.
You know, especially jazz. A lot of good jazz guys out here.
Speaking of that, I got my first deal in 1970 with a label called Chisa Records. Actually a division of Motown. It was their jazz label.
Mhm.
And so I was signed with the Jazz Crusaders and Hugh Masekela, Monk Montgomery, and those guys. So
Oh wow, yeah.
yeah, that was a very unusual experience for me.
Mm.
And then coming out of that, then I signed with HTH, Holland Dozier Holland, Invictus Hot Wax, and they put me in one of their groups, 100 Proof Aged and Sold. And that was another mind-blowing experience.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Now, what was the name of the bar, the band you used to be in? I mean, it was a hot LA band. Hot LA band. That would have been around the 70s, right about the time that Niecy met you.
Right.
Yeah.
79, 80, 81. It was Expertise. Yeah.
Okay.
We read all the name of the games, you know, and every other nightclub, Playboy Club, everything you could really.
Yeah, I saw you guys while I was on leave, up in West Hollywood, and I remember that it was a hot little spot.
The Troubadour, probably.
No, it wasn't the Troubadour.
Wasn't the Troubadour?
This is
No?
before you go down. It wasn't that far down, but I recall that the street that it was on, to drive up that street was like, whoa.
You coming up? You talking about the Speakeasy?
The Speakeasy, was that the name of the place?
Yeah.
That was a hot spot.
Yeah, that was a hot.
Yeah, that was a hot spot.
Hey, we played your dad's club, your dad's favorite club, the Family Room.
Oh, the Family Room, man. Shout out to the Family Room. You know, they there right now, I'm sure. You know, so hey, so let's talk about this record that you guys just recently done.
Okay.
I know that this is a record that's going to be near and dear to Newbie Man, because it's pretty much about your life, right?
Pretty much. I got into.
Or you inspired it?
Yeah, well, kind of. Actually, it's a remake of the first project that Wallace and I worked on back in '71, I think. And we just got to talking, and he had met this guy who was a veteran and was looking for songs and stuff by veterans who wrote songs and sang and stuff like that. And we got to talking, and just like a lot of other things, it all starts with a conversation, and it just
right
blossom from there.
Right, exactly. So the organization, Warrior Songs. So as I had mentioned earlier, they actually take these songs, they put them together, and they put them on CDs and pass them out and give them to other veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Newbie Man, you're a veteran.
Yes, I am.
Let's talk about that. Let's see. You joined the military when boy, well, it was never really a comfortable place to be, but you did it probably in one of the worst times possible, right?
Yeah, it was not the best of times.
Yeah, let's see. You joined the Air Force in '66.
That's correct.
Right, and within almost a year of joining, you found yourself in Vietnam.
Right. Actually, about a year and a few months, about 14 months after joining, I found myself headed to Southeast Asia.
Oh yeah, that's not a lot of time for much, man. After a quick boot camp and some training, it's like get on a plane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and for a black man back then in '66, you probably wasn't alone on that flight. You know.
No. no, and it wasn't the easiest place to be, as you just mentioned, for a black man at that particular time.
Well, neither was Alabama. But the bad thing about it is that now you're in a hot, sweaty place with Alabama,
Yeah,
and Alabama got a gun,
right.
and somebody else trying to shoot you too.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. That.
But I'll tell you a fact though. When you're in places like that, it tends to kind of put everybody on equal footing, because one of the best friends I had during that time in Vietnam was a white guy from Arkansas. His name was Norman Bird.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, and being in a situation like that, it tends to really equal everything out, race, everything else too.
Yeah, yeah, because you learn that a lot of that is just silliness. You know, I mean, realistically, because when you join the military, that man next to you is your brother. You know,
That's true.
He's either your brother or he's the enemy, and if he's the enemy, you sure don't want him next to you. You know, you stay far clear of that one right there. So in the song pretty much kind of describes your experience back in the 60s, joining the military, going over to Vietnam, a strange country, only to come back here to a country in 1967, 68 was damn near the strangest place in the world to be.
Well, yeah, you're right about that, because even before coming back, while I was there most of 68, and while I was there, Robert Kennedy was assassinated, Dr. King was assassinated. So a lot of us, particularly the African American soldiers and airmen and sailors, we were all wondering, what the hell were we going back to?
Right. They're killing all my leaders.
Right.
You know.
Hey, Calvin.
Yes.
When you left colored and a Negro. When you came back, you were black, and it didn't get you in a fight.
No, you're right. When it came back, James Brown made it popular to be black and proud.
Yeah, say it loud. I am black and I'm proud, no doubt. Yeah. So now they're going to have a listening party for this song, right? Next month.
August 8th in Milwaukee.
August 8th. Oh, in Milwaukee at that.
August 8th in Milwaukee, downtown Milwaukee.
Has the song already been put on a CD?
Yeah, it's on a CD as we speak. In fact, let me say something to kind of get this going in terms of the song.
Right.
So, my cousin Bridget McCoy, she introduced me to Jason Moon. He's the person that has the nonprofit Warrior song, and he at the time that I talked to him, he had just produced a woman's album, a tribute to women in the military, and he said my next one is going to be about veterans in Vietnam, and he asked if I wanted to be part of it, and I said yeah. And in fact, I have a friend of mine that was a veteran, and it was Calvin, and so Calvin kind of like wrote an essay about it, and I gave it to Jason, and he said good. This will be a good topic. And then Calvin and myself turned that into the song, Welcome to the World. And that's in a short form how this whole thing happened.
Yeah.
And so August 8th, all the people that are involved in this, and there's 14 songs. So all those people are going to meet up in Milwaukee along with hundreds of other veterans. And then we're going to salute the people in Vietnam for what they did.
Like we said in the song, you know, my mother had 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. I'm the oldest. And, you know, I grew up a mama's boy. I didn't, you know, and then growing up that way and then having to be thrust into the military, it was real culture shock.
Well, I'm sure it made you grow up real fast. You didn't have a choice.
Rapidly,
expediently.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll do that, man. And
yeah. But you have to you adapt or die.
It's that simple, man.
Yeah.
And and looking back on it, so many people didn't make it out of there, man. Vietnam was such a messed up situation. There are many people very high in the military, very high in government, that truly felt we fought for the wrong side anyway.
Yeah.
You for one thing, you followed the French in there, and their ideology. The French has never won a war in their life. Not one. I mean, Jean Lafitte defeat. It goes all the way back.
Yeah.
We go follow these guys in there, but just because China was interested in spreading communism to them, we said, okay, we'll jump on the other side, and they were corrupt as hell, and they had us out there shooting people and taking hills that didn't matter. And all of the politicians had the contracts for all of the weapons.
Oh yeah,
and
a lot of money was made.
It was a cash cow for the rich.
Yes,
for the rich, at the expense of our people, our own brothers and sisters, and
right.
And
you know what? The ironic part about it is that when it really just kind of blew up, a lot of folks, like myself included, we didn't know where the hell Vietnam was.
Of course not. You're right.
Oh, hey, a little tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
Now I never went to Vietnam, and I'm not a veteran or never even went to the service, but I did get drafted in 1969 on national television.
Wow.
In the national lottery. And I'm sure everyone has forgotten about that, where they put 365 balls in a hopper, and
your name was one of the balls?
No, they picked out 1/3, about 100, what is it, 133 or whatever, 1/3.
Okay.
Those are the people that were going to get drafted. The first 1/3 of the numbers they picked out, and my birthday was in there.
So how come you didn't go? They didn't take that ball?
That's another podcast.
That's another podcast. Oh,
that's shit. Another podcast.
Yeah, and this week we're doing deserters and people that like Canada more than the United States. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that.
Wallace wasn't a good boy all the time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what got me out of going to Vietnam in 1969.
Wow, so you were under their radar.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Under their radar, yeah. And then you ended up going in and getting put on a Group W bench. That's what everybody else that got a story to tell us. I'm like, talk about way out of this shit. Something's broke.
Let's put it like
I ain't
this.
going.
I'm
crazy.
I went from 1A one day to
4C, 4F.
Yeah, 4F, they called it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. That was a strange time. Guys were doing all kind of crazy things to keep from.
Oh yeah, you don't blame them.
Cutting off the first digit of the trigger finger. I couldn't believe it. It was. I mean,
I personally knew 2 guys that drank some lye, and it tore the lining of their stomachs up, almost killed them, to fail that physical to go into the army.
Wow. Well, it didn't almost kill them. I guarantee you it killed them when they got right about my age. Because if my throat would have been lined with lye back then,
yeah.
As much as my body creaks now, shit, I know that I'd be all the time.
Because it was like I mentioned to Waz when we were discussing this, it was almost like a death sentence, or almost like how a criminal feels facing his 3rd strike.
Well, what it really was, it was the second worst contract, man, that you could possibly write, and you didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
They the only choice you really had when your number came up was to go to a selective service or you can go to the Army. You know, and when we first met, the first thing I asked you was what branch of service you were in. Now, to those that don't know, yeah, I was in the military also for a little while. You know, 20 years active, 10 years reserve. So I'm a true old salt. You know, if you'd have told me Army, I'd have been like, "Ooh, that's going to be rough to do, man," because I'd have went the cut the finger route. You know.
Well,
I'm not about to dig a hole in a damn jungle with leeches and shit like that, you know,
yeah.
while people are shooting at me, man. And that was pretty much their job, you know, so they didn't have a lot of choice.
I tell people right away, I was not dodging bullets the time that I was in this.
Right.
So,
but every job is ever so important. Every job, the whole thing. It was still, you're in country, and it doesn't matter if a guy shoots at you every day, or if a guy shoots at you one time, or if you just walk around every day wondering, if I step right here, will this piece of earth blow up? You know, because that's what took out a lot of people. You know, mines and shit like that. And
yeah, it was an adventure most days, because some days we could hear things off in the distance. A lot of days we could hear that. I was stationed at Da Nang Air Force Base, and you know, just being away from home and everybody you know, and in a foreign country, and I know this makes it sound like not only being able to hear radio a little bit every once in a while, no TV, and not seeing anybody you really care about, and any females that look like you, or you know, just little things like that. It makes it tough to deal with for 12 months.
Yeah, well, it was a tough time, and what I really like in your song, you kind of you know, talk about when you first go in, but then you talk about when you came out and how strange all of that was, which was, you know, really strange, man, between the Panthers and Tech Pro, what they call it. I mean, CIA, man, was watching every important person that wanted to do right in America. You know, you couldn't trust anybody. You know, and guess what? You went over to fight. This isn't World War II. We don't like you.
Yeah.
We spit on you and your uniform. You went over there to kill babies. You know, or at least that was the attitude. A lot of veterans didn't find a way back. Yeah. You know, even came home and could not find a way back.
And when we got here, a lot of times we couldn't wear our uniforms because of the treatment that you would get.
Oh, exactly. That's what I was referring to. They spit on that uniform. Yeah. You know, you're a baby killer.
It was tough. It really was. And you know, I know a lot of people might say, "Oh, that wasn't that big a deal." But you know, you think you've gone out of the country, being in a war zone for 12 months, and then you come back, and then people want to treat you like dirt, as if you did something wrong.
As if you did something wrong. Yeah.
Hey, Kent State didn't help.
Sure didn't. Sure didn't.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning in a far off foreign land, left my lady crying for a place called Vietnam. Got up each state to fight for victory. And when my tour was over, I had a new identity.
That's true.
Make you grow up.
Yeah.
Make you grow up.
I came back a different person to a certain extent.
Oh, not to a certain extent. You probably wouldn't even recognize the person you were when you first walked in. That person was naive and with dreams and stuff like that. But you know, that'll hard you.
I had a few dreams, but I wasn't naive anymore.
That's for sure. Yeah.
So you're right about that.
Yeah. So when you got back, you know, let's say you ended up going back and you went to Frisco, right? Yeah. And you mentioned that in the song too, right?
Yeah. And actually I went to a Panther meeting. I spent a week in San Francisco when I first got back, and I had some friends there, and they took me to a Panther meeting, and that was eye-opening because I didn't even knew they exist before I left. You know.
Right. Well, they exist, but by the time you came back, their movement was strong.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And that was the most dangerous time to be even anywhere near a Panther or affiliated with a Panther, because Uncle Sugar was watching and Jay Edgar was taking everybody out. You know, bottom line, there wasn't no such thing as a black activist. You are all terrorists.
Yes.
You know, and he treated them accordingly. So that's leaving one war and coming back to a domestic war.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those were rough times.
A covert domestic war.
Right.
Ooh.
Definitely was. Hey, let's say we go ahead and put the song on and take a listen, huh?
You know, I was raised with my mama and my daddy, my brothers and my sisters, and I was always mama's little boy. But on this day, I went to bed a boy and woke up a man. I woke up this morning in a far foreign land. Left my lady crying for a place called Vietnam. Got a big day to fight for victory. And when my tour was over, I had a new identity. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the world. I just want to protect the nation and came back to segregation. I arrived in Frisco. There was tension in the air, in the air. Leather coats and berets. My uniform I could not wear. I couldn't wear it. Huey, Bobby, and Eldridge were the kings. Haight-Ashbury was the corner where the people demanded change. Welcome to the world. Welcome to it. Welcome to the world. I just want to protect the nation. Now I'm back in segregation. Help me. Welcome to the world. Welcome to it. Welcome to the world. I just love the tragedy. What more could you want from me? Welcome to the world. When I got back, I started to crack. My world had turned around. Martin, Bobby, and Malcolm were gone, and they were singing a simple song. Gas was high, the lines were long, and I was looking for a job, and the jobs were gone. I turned around, my buddy said, welcome to the world. Oh, well, my neighborhood, it ain't no good, and the junkies come out at night. Listen, they fucking with me day and night. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I wanna harm everything in sight. Check it out. One more thing I got to say was wrong. We stayed too goddamn long.
Whoa, well, that was the song, man. That was great. I enjoyed it. And you know what? Since we've been collaborating, doing this, putting it together, I've heard it, a couple of times, and it's catchy, man. It really is.
Wallace did a great job, really.
ParThon, I see why you are the man.
You said it right.
I said it right. I got it right. Okay. Well, let's chalk that one up because I'm sure it'll be Parcheesi real soon.
Hey, Wallace, ParThon is the most talented musical arranger, producer, songwriter that the world is yet to find out.
Find out about, huh? Well, let's hope that this song catch on. So I'm actually going to take this podcast and once it's done, also put it on my podcast show. I have a show on Slack called Our Voice.
Okay.
And it pretty much it goes out to the whole world.
Oh.
The people that I interview. As a matter of fact, I think you're going to be one of only the second people I ever interviewed in the United States.
Great.
So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So we'll get this song going around.
I'd like to tune in to hear you.
Yeah, I'll tell you how to do that. Zombieland.
Okay.
Nut up or shut up.
I like that.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and take the flyer and put the flyer up again. So it'll be a listening party, and that's gonna be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. ParThon, are you gonna try to make that?
You know what? I'll be there. In fact, I'm bringing my son and my grandson. It's August 8th.
Okay, good.
3 p.m. to 6 p.m. That Sunday afternoon.
Oh, that'll be cool, man. You can pop in and go check on the Green Bay Packers while you're out there.
Downtown Milwaukee, right across from the river, right on the other side of Lake Michigan.
And right in the heart of like where some of the best beer is made, right there where you're talking about.
Right there.
I'd go tour a brewery or two, for sure. And I also see on the flyer that all veterans are free. So that's a cool thing. It's nice to see they're doing something for veterans. I'd be interested in finding out more about warrior songs. So when you guys get some CDs, send me one out. I'd definitely like to check it out, and I can put it up on Slack and let those people. Do they sell the CD? Do you know?
Yeah, they're giving. In fact, you will get one. I mean, they're free for veterans.
Okay.
And regular people are the ones that would have to buy them.
How come they got to be the regular people? How come we're not the regular people, the veterans, man? What the hell? See,
Okay,
it's that same
I'm sorry.
freaking attitude that we're talking about. Oh, welcome to the world. Whose world? Your world? it must be your world. Shit. Show the hell wasn't the one that I got out to. I'm like, what the hell is this? PTSD forever for all of us. It messed us all up. And I want to go ahead and pass this on. We were talking about this earlier, Calvin. We were talking about the people, man, from Nam came out of there, head wasn't right. There's a lot of veterans out there, man, that are homeless. There are veterans out there that really need to get back into the system. I was the master at arms of the National Association of Black Veterans for Los Angeles and Orange County. And
that's great.
Yeah, but we try real hard, man, to get out there, man, and try to touch the veterans. And I think everybody should do their part. This is definitely doing your part. If we can sell enough of these CDs, that's money going to a good cause, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's work in that direction. So yeah. I know we've been on here much longer than our allotted time. Even though after editing, we'll probably only have about five minutes of usable stuff, I guess. I don't know. So, maybe a little bit more.
Hey, it's been a great experience, man. I want to thank both of you guys, for giving me the opportunity to express some of my thoughts about that particular time period. So, well,
hey, I'm glad that you were able to articulate that into an art form, So, now we, that's like chronologizing it and immortalizing it at the same time. Yeah, I can always reach in my drawer and grab that CD, 10 years from now,
Hey, well,
you know,
thank you.
and tell people.
ParThon.
Yes, ParThon, the man, and Newbie Man 39. I'm Uncle G, and man, we're gonna call it. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed the show, man, and I'll catch you guys on the backside, huh?
Thanks again.
Sir, thank you.
From
Uncle.
Zombieland, nut up or shut up, baby boy. We out. Toodle pips.